Hello, federal viewers. Welcome to this exclusive live discussion. The Madras High Court on Thursday gave out a significant verdict saying that ban on movie reviews is same as curtailing freedom of expression and speech. To discuss more on this, we've got with us senior film critic Rajasekhar sir. So thank you so much for joining us. Before we delve into the discussion, firstly, let me ask a very basic question, right? So to start off, obviously, how powerful or how impactful do you think movie reviews are at this time and age?
Yeah, from immemorial, I think movie reviews are very important. Criticism is important, especially for art form, any art form. I think criticism is very much important. For example, if you look back like 20 years before or 10 years before, uh, our films used to flaunt caste rights, and
Right.
there could be item numbers just like that. Words, very sensitive words, like against women, like women again, crime against women, or easily like portrayed films. But in the recent, like in this past 5 years or ago, we could see a lot of women empowerment kind of films have come up, and because of the staunch criticism,
Mhm.
filmmakers have awakened, and they have started realizing that. That we have to make progressive films as our society is becoming more and more progressive, and women are coming out, and so many things are happening. I think because of staunch criticism, very constructive criticism, such things have happened. For example, there were films that easily portrayed that people live in slums or rowdies, gundas.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, you know, Even North Chennai can be easily stereotyped as a area where only rowdies live. But after Ranjit's arrival, his films have taught us another side of North Chennai. The politics have changed. So a lot of things have changed because of good criticism. So I would say any constructive criticism will better the art form.
So beautifully summed up, you touched about the importance of, constructive criticism. So when this verdict came out, what was your first reaction? You've been in this industry, you've been reviewing critics, you've been a critic for so long. So what was your first reaction?
I think I'm sure. I was sure that High Court would rubbish off this the plea, because I think it basically affects the freedom of speech, right?
Right.
If you say that a particular set of people should not review a film, another bunch of people will come and review a film. I think I read the statement where the justice said that how about a review from Azerbaijan? That perfectly summed up everything. Someone, if not in Chennai, someone from Madurai, or someone from Dubai would obviously review a film. That cannot be stopped. Uh, if you want to establish some kind of constructive criticism or some kind of rules, it must be done by the individual himself or herself. Uh, it cannot be like, you cannot moral policing everything. So I was
as a
happy that.
critic as a critic for you would obviously see this as a win, right?
Correct,
But
correct.
let's break down the plea that was put forth by the Tamil Film Actor Producers Association. They said that we can't curtail everyone, so we can't, I'm so sorry, they said that we can't, this is against people who make personal attacks, who make derogatory comments against the actors. So they said that we can't target these people specifically and ask them to stop. That's why we are trying to curtail every review that's going on. So if you look at it, the recently in Malayalam industry also a similar kind of ban was proposed by the amicus curiae of Kerala High Court, but it did not transition into a stringent law. So when you ponder over why these kind of question of banning movie review arises, what do you think is wrong? Do you think the producers are focusing on putting streamlining reviewers? Don't you feel that producers and people in the movie industry should be focusing on raising the standard of the creation? What is your take on that?
Yeah, obviously, at any day, irrespective of criticism, I'm sure that good films have really ran well in our industry. No good films went unnoticed. Of course, a few films were exceptions, but generally, good films really find its audiences, and they should not worry about that reviews affect their films or such. But at the same time, there are some below the belt comments from reviewers, especially personal attacks. A few reviewers do that, so maybe they are worried much about that, especially when their content is not good. These add on negative reviews and plethora of negative reviews affecting their films drastically. So maybe their worry is towards that side, I see.
So there is always, a widespread claim that is going around the industry, which says that there are propaganda reviews that are going around. Negative propaganda is targeted. Certain actors are targeted. That is a certain claim that is going around. Also, how truthful is that? And at the same time, in the industry, there's claim that also paid promotions also happen. In fact, one of Bollywood's leading producer and filmmaker Karan Johar himself, he agreed, revealed in a talk show saying, "Yes, we're all big fat liars. We don't give promotions or reviews genuinely." So, how far are these true, and how impactful are these becoming when it comes to affecting business of a particular movie?
See, in media, I have been following that the personal animosity between a critic and a personal, a celebrity or a movie star or a production house, those kind of personal attacks are happening. That's the harsh truth. I could see, I don't want to name a particular individuals in such a way, but then that's the truth. Whatever Karan Johar said or whatever the producer is claiming, that's truth. So personal animosity between a particular critic and an actor or a producer, that resulted in negative reviews. That's happening. That's really
Can you
sad.
give us
But
some example or instances without taking names, if you can?
I would say, see, whenever a big star film, a particular star film comes out, there is a particular group who would, take their personal life and attack that actor, uh, irrespective of the content of the film or the quality of his film. They would go and personally attack his. They would go and character assassinate him. So those kind of things are happening in Tamil cinema as well, and even I could see that in Telugu and Hindi. So those kind of rampant negative reviews, personal attacks, are there. I think that is an area of concern for the producers and actors. That reviewers or critics or someone who has influential social media presence would go below the belt, make personal attacks, character assassinate them. So those kind of things or their major area of concern. More than negative reviews, I feel that that is their major area of concern.
So, talking about this, who do you think is really responsible when, character assassination or, personal remarks are made, derogatory remarks are made, and under the context of a negative review, when these things blow up in your internet, who do you think is really responsible? Does it all come down to the reviewer who is in front of the camera, or is the platform which is viral, like pushing it out, is responsible? Who do you think is really responsible, and who do you think should be held accountable for the negative derogatory remarks that are made under the context of a negative review?
I would say it's that person's individual responsibility. Whatever tool he has, earlier they would use print media for that. Now they are using social media, YouTube. So the the mode of personal attacking someone personally has changed, but uh, the personal character of someone to attack stars, films based on their personal liking and disliking hasn't been changed, at least with a few set of people.
So you're saying it all comes to the individual for him to
Correct,
restrict
correct,
themselves,
correct,
right?
correct. Yeah, yeah. Once
But
they
from a
they. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, from an audience perspective, right? If I'm going to watch, if I'm anticipating my hero's movie, I obviously am going to see what the reviewer is going to say, or what is the reaction, the first day first show reaction, right? So how do I analyze? So should I believe everything, because the media is constantly showing me what would work, the viral, the the shouting, the derogatory remarks at sometimes, the punchy lines. So as a viewer, when I see these, if that's a negative review that's given, what should I do? Should I ideally believe that, or should I just go and watch the movie and decide for myself? What would you suggest as a critic?
Uh, Sorry, I lost you in between.
Okay, I was just asking, as a viewer, as an audience who gets, exposed to all these kind of negative reviews or the viral derogatory remarks about a new movie that he or she is anticipating, how should they approach it? Should they blindly trust the reviewer, or how should they analyze it? If you can help them out with certain points.
Yeah, yeah. So these days, I find an interesting trend. Actually, audiences are not just blindly believing a reviewer now. So they kind of sense that there are paid reviews, there are critics who are sending out their personal likes and dislikes in the name of reviews, and of course there are some honest reviewers as well, some honest critics as well. So they kind of confused now, in a confused state now. Nowadays, people are going to cinema halls based on personal recommendation from their friend circle,
Right.
I would say, and also they go by the public reviews that are captured on YouTube channels. Whenever you finish off a movie, these YouTube channels are going there and getting the mass opinion of people. I think based upon that, I think the overall perception is being changed now. So nowadays people are not just blindly trusting any reviewer, any particular media, or any particular individual. Nowadays they kind of get the honest opinion from their own friend circle, from their own extended family, or from the public opinion videos, and then they make a decision. I'm sensing that, like, in the recent 2 to 3 years, that trend has been happening.
So our audience are wiser, they know what's going down. So that's
Yes.
really a nice point to have. I just wanted to touch a little bit more about the letter that the association sent out, right? They had mentioned the star mass heroes movies like Kanguva, Indian 2, and Vetain. How the businesses of these movies were affected because of the negative reviews. But as you earlier mentioned, Tamil cinema, movies, in spite of negative or mixed reviews, have done very well in the box office. For example, the recent Gubera is doing very well. Even Good, Bad, Ugly, in spite of mixed reviews, did decently well in the office. So, what do you have to say about this?
See, when a big film releases, it all boils down to the stardom of a hero. Okay,
Right.
so for example, Vijay is the greatest of all time. Recently released with a mixed review, but it really done well at the box office. Like you mentioned, Ajit's Good, Bad, Ugly uh, released with mixed reviews, opened with mixed reviews, but then it also went and did really well at the box office. So when you have mixed review, it's all boils down to the stardom of a particular actor. So that's what I would say. But when the review is really good, the word of mouth is really good, no amount of talk negativity, no amount of negative reviews would affect the film. So that's the bottom line. If you take Kanguva or Indian 2, or the recent Tagle, for that matter, it's outright rejected by the audience, outright rejected by the critics. So no amount of stardom, no amount of promotions, no amount of whatever you do, those kind of films won't run. So it's ideally, for example, I would say Waitain could be a example, a case study, because it kind of had a decent word of mouth, kind of had a decent review, and it kind of did decent business. It didn't, got, like, it was not a washout film in Tamil cinema or such. So that could be a perfect case study. So based on the quality of the film, based on the stardom of the hero. However, whatever the box office merit it should have, it's getting it. So I don't see that a good film is not doing really well at the box office. At the same time, I don't see a bad film doing really well at the box office.
That's a very beautiful, important point you've made. Sir, I'm starting to see a trend here. I think if you notice or not, the movies which, receive so much backlash and widespread negative comments, negative criticism, are mostly the movies which are you know uh, catered for the commercial audience. It's most of these movies are commercial movies of these big heroes, but at the same time in Tamil cinema, non-commercial movies, family friendly movies, movies which make you laugh, are like widely appreciated, celebrated. For example, the Tourist Family. uh, how do you analyze this? How do you assess this? Would that be a reason also? Is are the Tamil audience expecting more family friendly content at this phase? How do you analyze it?
See, if you ask me why so much negative reviews for a star film, or why there is so much talk about positive reviews and negative reviews debate about big stars, it obviously because of the cloud that film has. If an Ajit film releases, Vijay and Surya fans would ideally want to know how the film it is. They personally have some kind of personal animosity between their fan groups, and they kind of create that negativity themselves. So, but when it comes to a Sasikumar film, or or a, or some actor who doesn't have a big fan base, it ultimately based on the quality of the content, based on the quality of the film. So, if Ajit or Rajni or Kamal could give a Tourist Family, it's very much audience would embrace the film. But at the same time, they are going for a Vijay, Ajit, or Rajni or Kamal film, to see the mass, aura in
Right.
the theaters. They want to have that, the gallery pleasing moments in the film. So obviously, the stars are also not really comfortable in doing those kind of realistic films. Even if they do, the budget around them, stopping them from doing
Right.
it. So it's kind of a catch-22 situation for them what they should do. So I don't see a mass hero in Tamil cinema doing a Tourist Family kind of a film right now.
All right, let's just hope it happens one day
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
trajectory shifts. Yeah, so finally, you mentioned a bit about how the producers and the producer association is concerned about too much negativity targeted towards a particular actor, so much that his families are dragged into the picture, and this is a genuine concern, right? So, what do you suggest? What do you suggest? Like to how do we curb negative reviews? What is the line? Where is the line that we draw? What is your suggestion?
So as I said, it's a personal responsibility of a critic or a journalist or a reviewer to draw a line, like how you should review a film, how you should give a constructive review. But at the same time, nowadays we have to accept that movie watching experience has become a costly affair. Yeah, if a family of four wants to go to a film in a multiplex and watch it, easily it costs them around 4,000 5,000 rupees easily, like with the skyrocketing snacks prices, food beverages, and
Right.
parking prices. Things are really expensive, and with the arrival of OTT platforms that obviously charging them the same price for an annual package, people are really concerned about going to a movie hall. So they are very choosy. They are very, they pick and choose of their films, and they are watching it. So ideally, if you deliver a good content, people obviously will come and watch your films. But when you make substandard content, no amount of positive reviews, no amount of paid reviews is going to help your film. We have seen that in the recent past, films that are promoted really well, paying crores
Right.
of money in digital platforms, by spending on influencers. All these things are happening. But then, if your film is not good, obviously, it's just vanished in one day. So that kind of situation is happening right now in Tamil cinema. A recently released film spent almost 30 to 35 crores on promotions, but
Right.
within a single day, the film vanished. The next day, second day, there's no audience to see the film. It's almost crashed it with two, a big star and a big director teamed up for that film. But then from Saturday onwards, film really dropped, crashed. The entire industry was in shell shock. So nowadays, as I earlier said, you make your film really good, concentrate on the content. Obviously audience are going to watch your film because, like earlier mentioned, films like Tourist Family, Labbar Bandhu, or even films like Maman that didn't get great reviews from critics, but then
Right.
it satisfied the appetite of the target audiences, and hence
Right.
the film ran really well. As you mentioned, like Good, Bad, Ugly, or The Goat, or whatever, those kind of star films also, if it satisfied that fan base, they are coming in. So
Right.
make your film for your audience, they would come. No amount of criticism, no amount of negative reviews will affect the film. That's it.
Sir, that's a very beautiful point. Focus on the craft, focus on the content, focus on the quality is the key takeaway from this discussion. Finally, I just want to understand from a reviewer's perspective, right? You would have sat across different movies. You might have to sit in 2 hours, whatever the content is. You have to go through the 2 hours of the movie there. So how do you stop yourself? I'm just trying to get to know your process, right? So how do you stop yourself from, okay, this is the line. I should not, put in my personal thoughts here. I have to be ethical. I have to not take sides here. So how do you decide that? Because it is a review, you are reviewing, but at the same time, you can't be harsh. You can't have your personal choices as to if you like the actor or not. So how does a reviewer think and how does it work?
It varies. It varies from person to person, critic to critic. When I started off as a critic or a movie reviewer, I was a little bit harsh. My reviews would be straight in the face. But as I evolved, I also thought, no, this is a craft. There are like a lot of people are putting in their hard work, putting in their effort. So let's not be like that harsh to them. Let's say what are the positives in the film, what are the negatives in the film, and make a kind of balanced review. That's what I try to say in my reviews. So that is my personal take on this. But there are some critics who are still open about it, who still want to trash a film, so they are also doing it. And as you said, like a lot of targeted reviews are also happening. So it varies from person to person. And in some cases, like we watch three films back to back, four films back
Right.
to back. So that kind of personal struggles is also happening, like how to watch the film like three films back to back, because you have to give your review very early. That kind of pressure
Right.
is also there. So in those days, like in 80s and 90s, hardly one or two films will release in a week. But nowadays we are seeing like three films, four films. That kind of the volume is also really huge, and producers want critics to watch every film, review
Right.
every film. If you ignore any film, they are saying that only paid reviews are happening. Like they are not watching it because we haven't paid them yet. So those kind of statement is also happening. So it's kind of very difficult situation right now, for movie reviewers or producers. So they are expecting reviewers to watch every film, but they are releasing 7 films, 8 films in a week. So it's kind of very difficult to be a reviewer who review all films in a week.
So, what is your final suggestion to your fellow reviewers when it comes to not crossing the line? What would be your three suggestions or points for them to take away from here?
See, first of all, point out the positives, point out the negatives. There is no big deal here. Like producers would be happy to accept it, but let's not be too harsh on them. There are some points that need to be, highlighted really strong in a strong manner. Like for example, violence against women, or flaunting caste pride, stereotyping a particular community, or politically incorrect message. Those kind of points that need to be addressed, that needs to be strongly criticized in your films, then only the art form will be evolved. But at the
Right.
same time, personal attacks can be avoided. Uh, Targeting an actor for his personal, life, whatever he does off screen, you should not. There is no need to, talk about it in a review. At the same time, if someone does good things also, let's not glorify them for whatever they do off screen, like in your
Right.
reviews. you know those things can also be avoided, like your review cannot be like a PR machine, so that can also be avoided. So in that way, like, avoid the personal attacks, highlight the positives and negatives, and also don't glorify your actors for what they do off screen. So that can be done in a personal column or whatever you want to do, that can be done. But when it comes to review, that those things can be avoided. So these three things I would stress upon.
Thank you, sir. It's been beautiful talking to you. I think the key takeaway from this discussion is for the reviewers, for anybody that's going out, reviewing a movie, analyzing it, it's crucial to keep in mind that movie is your subject there and not the person who is in it, or not the actor, not the actress, not the director. And you are supposed to be talking about the movie, not dragging in the actor's personal life. At the same time, the producers, the association, they should be open to constructive criticism, because criticism shapes the craft. So they should focus more on the quality of the craft, uh, focus more on what the target audience want, because I believe at the end of the day, only through criticism you would understand what the audience want, what they want to watch, what they want to see more. So that is the key takeaway from this discussion. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today and sharing your
Thank you, Aviva,
insights.
for having me.
It's been wonderful. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.